staring at birds.
Yes. You have your handouts. We had talked about it in one staff meeting already. And what I've handed out to you guys is our current levy calls and the worksheet of where it's being allocated out. I think one of the decisions that we need to finalize is the public library funding. Is it the will of the board to continue funding the library? Or,
I'm in favor of continuing the library funding to some degree.
It is mine.
It seems to be the sentiment that we want to pay. It's not very good. The exact amount, I'm
well,
not sure what
what
we are on that.
Jeff and I kind of just tossed it around there. You know, we're doing $75,000 for our school libraries, and we thought maybe we would just, you know, do the same for our public libraries instead of completely cutting it out. Maybe just say, you know, we're going to allocate the same to the public library as we do to our public school system. That would be at $75,000.
Okay. What do we give right now? Is that on one of the sheets?
Yes,
Item
it's
D.
item D.
D.
And it fluctuates depending on the value of your property, so it was currently at $108,000.
So you're saying, what's that 108,000 represent?
It matches the Senate Bill 20, it's so much for each
Are you
class of
saying
property.
that that's how much we gave last
Mhm.
year to the library?
Yes,
The
uh-huh.
108,000? I recall when this was an issue in Kanawha County, that Joe Panetta from the State Farm sent out a memo, and I think he suggested that a county like ours, or our county, give $91,000. I know that was just a recommendation, if I remember that correctly.
You know, there is some paperwork on that, but I think that came out prior to this, the new, the ruling when Kanawha County challenged it.
Well, it's all a part of the same
Mhm.
thing, I believe, because some counties, I guess, are voluntarily give, and I think that's what they were suggesting, but you might want to see
Yeah.
what he was, I
There-
don't know
there is
where
a-
he arrived at that amount, but I remember it being about $90,000, and what he recommended was Lincoln County.
Would it be the will and pleasure of the board to maybe fund at the level recommended by the Department of Ed, by their calculations?
That's kind of what I would suggest, unless it's something outlandish. But I mean, something in that range,
And I
seems to be
will-
like a middle ground between the 75 you spoke of and the 108 we presently give. If we were around that 90, whatever this Department of Ed was recommending, would be a middle ground maybe.
And we were always above what was recommended for Lincoln County. I know we've always been above that amount, so I'll check on that, Steve. Is there any other changes that the board would like to see?
I don't know of any. I looked through it the other day and it seemed to me like most of the things were the amounts, once again, that you all being more knowledgeable about that, how much each category. Anybody else?
Of course, a couple of the things that we discussed was funding summer school and after school. We'd like to set aside a little bit of money for that.
Then are these things we aren't presently doing?
That's correct.
Okay.
And also some money for professional development. That was a couple of things that was discussed at our staff meeting.
So you all are kind of proposing to keep the levy items as we now have them and then add those to it? Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
yeah, we basically have about $314,000 to divvy out. And we'll take some of that and put into professional development and after school, summer school, and various other allocations.
I'm sure you all looked at the needs and wish list from everyone.
And then what we hope to do is to come back on August the 31st with something for the board to approve or if not the 31st, maybe August 1st. Is it our next meeting?
August 6th.
August 6th. And then let the vote, the
It's
board.
July 31st or August.
We meet next week and then the following, right?
So maybe on August the 6th, we'll come back with actual levy calls for the board to vote on. That'll give us a little bit more time to work on it.
Have you, or are you projecting a date for the levy election yet?
Have y'all done a
We
date?
talked about November, sometime in November. Wayne County's gonna run theirs November 23rd, Saturday.
I saw it.
Thought maybe we'd either beat them to the punch or maybe do it on the same day.
Yeah. But you're thinking before Christmas, obviously, right?
Well, Marty, do we still have an active 4-H program projected for next year? Or it seemed to me like we went one down.
Well, we'll be selecting a new county extension agent shortly. We have the first teleconference, I believe it's scheduled for August the 6th. There'll be a series of meetings and then an interview process. The current thinking is that the new extension agent will devote most of their time to the 4-H. So, yes and no.
Okay.
That's what I thought you told me, Larry, that there was gonna be more emphasis from the
Yeah.
extension agent on, for it.
Yeah, at our last meeting, I'm not sure I would agree with this, but it was felt that the new extension agent should devote most of the time to 4-H.
That being said, we're probably gonna keep that money in there for.
Oh, yes, by all means, it's,
Anything else, or is anything else you want us to particularly look at, Barry? I think we talked
No,
about the
just
items.
wanted your input, and then we'll put the finishing touches on everything and bring it back so the board to approve and start moving on our deadlines.
Is that okay for that?
Is it a simple majority?
It is, except for the
Chris, you think on that? Are you here or answer?
John, you want me to say that? We've just been having some.
No, I think I'm okay. I contact Bert if I need. I think I'm probably okay. Another few weeks. I have enough handouts.
Okay, nothing else on the excess levy, we go to garbage contracts. Who's the guest speaker on that?
Such wonderful topics. Hey, I think Bertie and Dana, Ian are.
Tag team.
Well, I talked about that at the last meeting. I don't have any further information unless Bertie does.
Yeah,
But I'm giving you everything up to date that I have.
You just, and I'm sure, I think it was discussed with the board that you moved parts to the new company.
To Dalton's, yes. And then I did a purchase order for a half a year to Allied Republic for the rest of the schools. And, but we're not gonna sign any contracts or anything in case they don't provide the service, and we might look at Ranger next and come on down the river.
So you're able to do that?
Yes. So, yeah, there'll be no contracts signed. We're just, right now with Allied and Republic, we're working on size of dumpsters at locations, which is gonna reduce the cost. And, we're looking at, doing away with some dumpsters that, aren't secure from the public dumping on us. So, that's just where we're at right now. As I get more information, and we finalize the size of dumpsters and the number of pickups, then I'll get that to you. For example, Guy Valley's getting it, by contract, they're saying they're picking it up 3 times a week. You know, back when they were picking it up 3 times a week, they probably had 900 kids there, not quite 300 there now. So we're gonna move that to 2 times a week and lessen the size of the dumpsters, which will lessen our bill. Every time we lessen the size of the dumpsters, it will lessen our bill.
That's something you can just kind of monitor and need to.
And we may have to add one back. We may take too much away, and we get too much trash, we may have to take one back. So it'll be a slow process.
Okay, good. All right. Okay, are there any other comments or concerns? Anybody else?
I did want to relay from Mr. Daly about the county and the school web pages with the school desk is going to be doing those web pages, and the training for those will be August the 6th. So after that, you should be able to see what you need to be able to see on those. But he did ask me to relay that.
Yeah, and we'll see.
He knew I was gonna ask.
He said, just in case. So I did write that down.
We're gonna update the personnel and things like that.
Yes.
So we can find out what's going on.
What's going on? Who's where?
Yeah.
What classes are being taught?
Right.
Okay, great. Anything else? Anybody? All right. If not, we'll ask for an adjournment till July 31st. I'll move at 6.
I'll second.
Mr. Galloway makes a motion, Mr. Smith seconds, that all yes?